Welcome to the Rise Up Podcast, the show where we share the Thunderbird's eye view of our Yucaipa High. Each week, we sit down with students, staff, or community members to highlight the stories and celebrate the achievements from across our community that make T-Bird Nation soar. Now, get ready to rise up.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us today on this episode of the Rise Up Podcast. I am here today with Kim Pham, who has an amazing idea. It's called the Disconnect to Reconnect initiative, and it's a whole week of activities that'll be happening next week. So Kim, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so thank you for the introduction. I'm Kim Pham, and I'm just an individual who likes to get involved in the community, whether that's volunteering at YAPS, the Yucaipa Animal Shelter, or being the Commissioner of Community Service here, where I get to organize blood drives, supply drives, and work with the students to get more involved in the community. I'm also the student board member of the YCJUSD district, where I get to advocate for other students' voices and their desires. So overall, I'm very community orientated, and I love to contribute in any way that I can.
That's awesome. So talk to us about this Disconnect to Reconnect initiative. What is it? What inspired it? What's it all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are two main things that inspired me to start this initiative here at YHS. The first one being to really encourage students to live more in the moment, especially in such a busy world that we're in today, especially since like COVID, we have become so much more reliant on phones, and I want to show that we can be so much more beyond the screens. And phones aren't bad, they are an essential tool in our world, but it's just how we use them that's important. The second reason I wanted to bring this initiative to YHS was because of the Phone Free School Act that was passed last September. So basically it says that all public school districts are required to minimize phone usage during school hours. Now the YCJUSD school district already has a policy that passes. The policy is that all phones need to be out of sight in classrooms unless the teacher says it's okay to use for academic purposes. So I know that the board currently wants to refine the policies so that it connects more with the extensions added from the act, such as that phones can actually be taken away from students now, but it must be given back to them in an emergency effectively. Yeah, so the board, I know they want to refine that, and I believe that this week is a great way to help students become more aware that there is a change happening and also become more educated about phones in general.
That's awesome. I love that you share the idea of awareness.
Exactly.
Right? A time to reflect, a time to evaluate yourself and just become more aware. What are some of the challenges that you see happening with phone use as a student? What are some of the ways that phone use has made relationships or connection or any of those things difficult as a student?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I'm not like a phone professional, but I would say I'm pretty observant. So whether it's inside classrooms or outside classroom, I do see phones having a disruption in people's relationships and focus. In classrooms, sometimes I'll see like students maybe paying attention to their phone instead of maybe the teacher lecturing. And it's a little bit heartbreaking because we have such a strong education for students here, and we should be taking advantage of it and making the most of it instead of focusing on our phones. But it's not just in academics either, it's outside of school, whether it's just a group of friends interacting with one another. Instead of talking to and catching up, they'll be on their phones, scrolling, and just nodding without actively listening. So these are just some of the issues that I see happening every day. But I want to emphasize again, phones aren't a bad tool, they're essential, again, but it's just the way we use it and how we make the most of it.
Absolutely. So talk to us a little bit about the week and the plans. What should we look forward to happening next week? What are some of the things that will be going on?
Of course. So every day there's going to be a new activity that will help students go along with the three goals I have, which are reflection, helping them become more aware of their phone usage, education, becoming more educated about phone usage, and then encouragement, helping them find new hobbies and opportunities that they can get involved in instead of constantly scrolling. So starting on Monday, we have Awareness Monday, where we're going to have a big poster on the garage door. It's going to be shaped in a phone, and the main question is going to be, who are you without your phone? So it's going to help people take a step back and really reflect about who they are without a variable that plays such a major role in their life. I know for me, I would answer, I'm a more active listener when I'm not on my phone. Because instead of scrolling, I'm listening to the person in front of me and I'm making eye contact the whole time. So that's on Monday during A and B lunch in the quad, and all students are more than welcome to participate. On Tuesday, we're going to be having lunchtime activities from Student Council. Now, it's just a fun way to help students connect more without their phones. So the game's going to be called Head, Shoulders, Knees, Cup. I don't know if you've seen it.
I've seen it.
Yeah, but it'll help students will focus on their listening skills and also on like their reflexes, but no phones are going to be in sight, and it's going to be super fun.
Make sure you have extras, because that cup's probably going to get smashed.
Yeah.
So make sure you come prepared for that one.
I think we have a whole stack in these.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. On Wednesday, we're going to be having the drama team. They're going to actually doing a skit in the cafeteria in a comedical way that reaches to students and demonstrates how phones impact our daily conversations. And yeah, with humor, because humor is another way that connects with individuals. I actually read through the drama skit yesterday, and I think it's amazing, and I'm so excited for students to see it again during A and B lunch in the cafeteria. Yeah. And then on Thursday, we're going to be having the Phone Free Fair. This is the biggest event where we're going to have different organizations from outside school and inside school help to reach the 3 goals: reflection, education, and encouragement. Outside of school, we're going to have groups such as the Healthy Yucaipa Committee. They're the committee that runs all like the healthy events in Yucaipa, such as the races, from the firecracker race, turkey trot, which is actually coming up. So they're going to be emphasizing that to students. I think it's also really cool because most of the committee members on there are involved in the health field in some way, whether they're nurses or former doctors, and I know they're going to be really interested in reaching out to students and educating them about phone usage. We're also going to be having groups such as the IPS East Valley. They're an organization that focuses on the health of the community in a whole, not just Yucaipa, but also other communities surrounding us as well. They're going to be hitting on the 8 domains of wellness and connecting that to phone usage, and they're also going to have a fun interactive as well that students can participate in. Inside school, you can expect Link Crew, Student Council, and HBS to be present. Link Crew is going to be helping with reflection by having different posters where students are going to answer questions. And they're also making bracelets. It's fun, simple, and a great way for students to connect without their phones. Student Council is going to be emphasizing how students can become involved and disconnect in that way, whether that's volunteering at the upcoming blood drive in November, or even just attending the rallies. It's a great way to bring school spirit, but also help you disconnect and connect with the students around you. And lastly, the HPS team, they're going to be the main sector of the education portion, because not only are they going to explain why phone usage can be a negative aspect in people's lives, but they're also going to provide statistics and actual data that will help solidify the idea into students' minds instead of just saying phone usage is bad. So that's what students can expect in the quad during A and B lunch next Thursday. It's going to be super exciting, and I'm grateful that all these community members and groups were able to pitch in and make it happen.
For sure.
Yeah.
So who's helping you with this? Is you connected with all these groups, or how is that coming along?
Yeah, so I connected with each of the groups on campus here and also outside campus. With the IPS East Valley, I shot them an email. I've been connected with them because I'm on the Youth Advisory Committee, and they presented to us once and they gave us all the information, and they emphasized that they would always be willing to help us if we needed anything. So I reached out to them immediately, and they were super excited to contribute to the cause. As for the Healthy Yucaipa Committee, I attended one of their meetings the previous week to pitch the idea to them, and again, they were all hands-on, and they're so excited to help as well. As for the groups here, I sent them email or either talked to them in person regarding it.
That's awesome. So much time and energy that you put into this thing.
Yeah.
It really shows how much you care about our students and trying to do something that's important and impactful for them. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
What advice would you share with someone that they want to have a healthier habit, right? They want to step away from their phone, but it's difficult, right? What advice would you give to them?
Yeah, one of the major advices I would give to them is really to take everything next week into heart. So instead of just glazing past all the activities, make sure you ask yourself, ultimately, why does it all matter to you? Because I can do any extraordinary activity next week, but it still might not make students change because it's all about the internal motivation. So my advice is to take everything in to the full extent, really apply it to your life, and ask yourself, how can you improve by taking what you learned from that week? Yeah, so that's the first piece of advice I would give students. The second piece of advice is to create a support group. So oftentimes, I'm going to use myself as an example. When I make myself goals, it's easy to fall off on it because I don't have other people keeping me accountable. But recently, my friends and we started like a way to keep ourselves accountable for our goals. So I'll help my friends keep accountable for their goal and vice versa. And I think especially for next week, encourage your friends to go to each of the activities and events, and it will help you reach your goal and also your friends as well.
That's awesome. One piece of advice I got in my life that really helped me was the idea of starting really small. So there was an example shared with me of a guy that wanted to floss his teeth every day. And so he set a goal that he was going to floss one tooth a day, right? It's ridiculous that you're going to floss a tooth, but it's also ridiculous to not do it because it's such a small goal. Yeah. So one tooth leads to two, leads to three, and then all of a sudden you're flossing every day because you set manageable goals. You think that would be helpful in this situation as well?
Yes, I agree. I think with any habit you start, I agree, you need to start small. I actually read a book, I think a year ago, called Small Habits. And they really emphasize starting from something minuscule, like you don't have to start off running, but you want to definitely start the marathon.
Yeah, creating that new routine is essential to breaking that unconscious thought where you just grab your phone without even thinking about it, right?
Yeah, so instead of saying maybe I'll be off my phone the entire day, maybe tell yourself maybe I'll take 5 minutes off, in the morning, something small, and before you know it, you're going to add on and you're going to improve. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's great. What do you hope comes out? After it's all said and done, what are your hopes for the aftermath of your Disconnect to Connect week?
Aftermath. Well, for the students, I hope they all feel inspired. Because again, as I mentioned, it's all internal. I can't make anyone put down their phone, but I can inspire students to hopefully improve their relationship with their phone, and I hope it catalyzes or it motivates them to continue their journey beyond the week. So that inspiration, and that goes back to taking everything in to heart and applying it to their lives. I also hope that overall students, teachers, faculty are more knowledgeable and they feel enlightened, because instead of just knowing that phones are a bad impact, I want them to really know why it is, with all the data and statistics, and why it should all matter as well. That's the ultimate question that I want students to answer. I forgot to mention earlier, though, on Friday, there's going to be a guest speaker, which is Mrs. Simon, the incredible Mrs. Simon, and she's going to be talking about the Anxious Generation book and connecting that to the phone policy. And when I tell you, she is such an incredible teacher. She always makes me think about, why does it all matter? I know she's going to leave a message with the students about why they should minimize phone use and why that matters to them. And it's going to be a perfect way to end off the week. And I just hope that beyond the entire week, students still think about that and they still feel impacted from everything they participated in or learned. So on Monday during A and B lunch, we're going to have the activity in the quad where students answer the question, who are you without your phone? Tuesday's also going to be in the quad during A and B lunch to hold the lunchtime activity of head, shoulders, knees, cup. And Wednesday is going to be in the MPR where the drama team is going to do a humorous skit that shows students how phones impact daily interactions. Thursday is going to be in the quad during A and B lunch for the phone-free fair. And Friday is going to be in the library during A and B lunch.
Awesome. So it's all about being present. It's all about connecting, and it's all about making sure that you're not missing out on what's happening right in front of you.
Exactly.
Right.
I think you summarized it perfectly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Thank you so much for all the work that you did to make this happen. I know that you're doing it because you really care about all of our students like we do, and it's amazing to see you put in all the time and effort to make this happen for everybody. So thank you so much.
I appreciate being here and letting me share this activity next week.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this episode of our Rise Up podcast. T-Bird Nation,
No matter where you are in your journey, remember, the view gets better the higher you climb. Keep rising up, T-Birds.